All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the Wake Up Crew here to talk some NBA prop bets over on Prize Picks for this Wednesday, May the 11th, 2022 NBA Conference Semifinal NBA Playoff slate. We've got the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Boston Celtics, as well as the Ja Morant-less Memphis Grizzlies versus the Golden State Warriors. Such a shame we don't get to see Ja, or probably are going to see Ja throughout the rest of this playoff series. But even more shameful than that was Giannis, not Giannis, but Joel Embiid under his points, Luka under his points. Thank God for the taco for Jimmy Butler because he went under his par. Jay Crowder shit the bed, didn't show up. Rough day out there in those betting streets for a lot of people. But we dove into the data. We found some matchups that we like. We found some players that we like, and we're going to talk about them right now.
For all the high-flying action, take a step back and relax. It's time to count that money, the NBA props. No look any further. You know what time it is. Presented by Prize Picks, NBA props. Let's
count that money, man. All right, Jay. So we're going right back. We're going to this Boston game, but I'm staying away. I'm staying away from Giannis. 31.5 point total. Don't want to touch it this one. He can do it 100%. But I want to talk about Jason Tatum. And if the Time Lord Robert Williams himself is out, then I'm loving Jason Tatum's rebound number right here at 6.5. He had 13 last game, doing it on the defensive side. A lot of rebound opportunities without Robert Williams in the building. This game is back in Boston. So if Robert Williams is out, the projection model has him going at about 7.6 rebounds in this contest tonight. So again, Robert Williams out. I like Jason Tatum's over 6.5 boards. I also, I'm looking at Big Al. Big Al did us right, but I'm not going to talk about him just yet. I'm going to go to the Memphis Golden State game and talk about one Jaren Jackson Jr. J3, his fantasy score. Last game, his fantasy score point total, which is not up right now on Prize Picks, was set at 30. Jaren Jackson had 48.1, I believe, fantasy score last game. He had 5 blocks in that matchup, the NBA leader in blocks. I mean, he's handling the ball. He's staying out of foul trouble. And when Jaren Jackson is on the court and not in foul trouble, he's going to give you fantasy score points, right? In our projection model, he had the highest sort of projection with blocks and steals, turnovers combination on the slate. So once you input his projection for points, rebounds, and the maybe one assist that you'll get from Jaren Jackson, it's got his fantasy score set at 34. So if it opens up, Jay, anywhere 32 or below, if they give us 30 again, I think it might open up again at 30. It seems to set his fantasy score line right around 30. If Jaren Jackson is there, I'm taking the over Jaren Jackson fantasy score. I just put the par in now because fantasy score is not there. And then if Robert Williams, the Time Lord, is out, I'm taking Jason Tatum over 6.5 rebounds.
Yeah, man, I like it. Jason Tatum finally decided that maybe it was time to take over a game, right? You look at how he normally plays. He's been passive on the boards. He hasn't been playing the best defense. He finally decided that it was the game that he was going to score, he was going to take over. And we see this from stars a lot. When they finally decide it's time to take over, they are on the boards, they're going coast to coast, and they're making a lot of plays for their team. Jason Tatum did that. And playing at home in this series, I think that that's going to happen again. But I am going to be going a little bit different direction with my pick today. I'm going to be going back to the well with Jaylen Brown. I'm going to be taking his 3-point prop over 2.5. Now, the main thing with Jaylen Brown and the reason why I've been staying away is because early in the series, he hit a bunch of threes. The first game, he shot 3 for 10. The second game, he shot 6 for 10. So the big thing for me is that Jaylen Brown, and like I mentioned this before, he shoots better at home, especially when it comes to threes. He takes more threes, and he makes more threes at home. I'm going to be going back to Jaylen Brown over 2.5 3-pointers made because I believe he's going to be bouncing back. He hit 2 last game in a series where they need to be hitting these 3-pointers to stay ahead of Milwaukee, and we know that Milwaukee will continue to give up the 3. They gave up a ton in the first 2 games on the road, and they're going to continue to do so. So for me, I'm going to be taking Jaylen Brown over 2.5 threes. Ray, how do you feel about Jaylen Brown? I know you're a little skeptical, but I think that he's going to get right back on track in this game today.
All you can ask for is the opportunity, man. He's going to shoot. He's going to shoot him. It would be nice if the line was just an even 2, but I don't think this is a hard number or something out of the, that has to be an outlier for Jaylen Brown to get that 2.5 3-pointer. So I'm fine with it, man.
Yeah, minus 130 on the book, so people are projecting him to go over. And I know that you're looking at your boy over there. I see him in the bottom
Yeah.
corner, Al Horford. He's been shooting the lights out this series. He's hitting threes like crazy, 5 threes, 4 threes, the one in the one game, and then 4 again. Where are you at with Al Horford? Are you going to consider him maybe a little bit? I know you're a little bit concerned, but 2 threes, I mean, it's not terrible. And he's 2.5 on the books. That is juice to the under, of course. But 2 threes is not bad for Al Horford. You're probably looking at a push overall.
I want it, man. Like I'm not gonna make it a core part of the plays today, but I am gonna dabble. He's 50% in this series. He's 14 for 28 from 3-point land. He has taken none less than 5 3-pointers in this series. He's got back-to-back games where he's attempted 7 3-point shots, 4 in the second to last game, and 5 in the last game. I mean, he's feeling it, man. Averaging 18 points, 11 boards, 3.5 assists. Horford didn't appreciate Giannis dunking on him and mugging him down, and he came back, got him back, and I think Horford is locked into the series. Big man like Horford, he just hangs around the 3-point line. I like this 2 number for Al Horford, man. So not a core play for me, but if you just ask me straight up, Jay, who do I feel better about knocking down their 2 threes, Jaylen Brown or Al Horford? I'm probably going to stay in the Big Al Flames and roll with Al Horford, but not a core play, but I do like Al Horford over 2 3-pointers.
Now, can I interest you in one more play?
Oh, boy.
I know it's crazy.
Oh, boy.
I know it's crazy. It's one that, it gets you a little bit hot and bothered, a little bit sweaty, but I think it's interesting. So we're going to be going to the turnover well. For people who didn't notice, PrizePicks added turnovers. So you go take a look because you might find some good edges. And I want to talk about Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones under 1.5 turnovers. It's minus 130 on the books. He hasn't done it at all this series, but we know he's starting now. So he's playing a lot more minutes. He's a lot more involved. People who aren't aware, Tyus Jones had the best assist-to-turnover ratio in the NBA this year. So he's a guy who doesn't turn the ball over a lot. He's a player who's very efficient. And with Dylan Dimes out there trying to dish 8 assists a game and having 4 turnovers, I think there's an opportunity for Tyus Jones to just be a guy who goes in there, runs the offense. The only issue is with those 41 minutes, that's a lot. We have him projected for 33 minutes, and I believe he's projected for just under 1 turnover. He's getting about 1 turnover a game over the past 2 games. But at home, he hasn't turned the ball over even once. We know this game is back in Memphis today. So, Ray, I'm not saying it's a core play, but I'm saying if you want to dabble in a 5 flex, this is actually a bet that's pretty damn good. And I think that while you got to sweat it out a little bit, Tyus Jones is a guy who can get it done. Like I mentioned, the league leader in the NBA in assist-to-turnover ratio. He's very efficient, very good with the ball in his hands. And the guy, even though playing a lot of minutes, I kind of like it under 1.5.
Projected for 0.96 turnovers, not even 1. I like it, man. I think this is one of those obscure, sweaty ones, but I kind of like it, man. So I'm glad you pointed this one out. Draymond Green is sitting at 3 turnovers. This is one where, and I'm thinking about these players that, offensive fouls and things like that count as turnovers. We got Draymond projected at a little over almost 4 turnovers, 3.83 turnovers for Draymond Green. So if I wanted to throw something in another flex, I kind of like that one, a fun play. But I really love the pick of Tyus Jones over 1.5, under 1.5 turnovers. And one play that I want to talk about, I want to see if they have it up. I'll be watching for Steven Adams to see if they throw Steven Adams boards out there. Played 27 minutes. I guess Memphis wanted to do something different. And it worked, man. He had 10 points, 15 rebounds last game. So waiting to see what Memphis opens up Steven Adams' rebound total line at. So there you go. We ran through a lot of plays. The core ones that we like, Jason Tatum, over 6.5 boards, and there is juice to the over on the books there. Jaren Jackson, this says it's par, but it's the fantasy score that we're waiting for. Anything below 32, if it's 32 and below, I'm taking the over Jaren Jackson fantasy score. Jay loves Jaylen Brown's 3-pointers at 2.5. And the new turnover prop over on PrizePicks, Tyus Jones under 1.5. I really like that play, Jay. Anything else you want to say? Anything else you're looking at before we get out of here?
No, I think that's it right now. We talked about Dylan Brooks' points. I'm not going back to that after he shot, 2 for 13 in the last game. Yeah. I want to see how it plays out. We talked about Klay Thompson as well, how he hasn't gone over 21 points in this series. He's at 21.5. So we'll be looking for that one as well. But overall, I think it's just trying to find trends in these series. I'm going to be watching the Celtics and Bucks game very closely to see kind of what ends up happening in that one. And we'll see, can Golden State come out and shoot the lights out, because they played so poorly last game. Both teams just played god-awful. Obviously, Golden State got the win, and Golden State looking to close out today. So it may be another big game for Steph trying to close out the Grizzlies in this Game 5.
Yeah, man. Good luck tonight on the NBA. Tap in a little bit later. We'll have a WNBA prop bet video coming out. We've got the model built there. We went 2 hits, 2 misses yesterday on our first time using the model. The model went 58% overall yesterday for the WNBA. So we've got 3 matchups tonight in that league. And we'll be talking about some of the picks that we like from a data-driven perspective. So as always, if you tail, give them hail. And if we fail, do not bail. We'll be back. More data-driven analysis, more data-driven picks tomorrow. We out of this thing. Peace out.